Welcome to Definite Hearing News. Today we are going to talk about the deregulation of hearing aids. Why am I so serious? Well, this is a serious topic, but hey, if you're new, my name is Emily. I created Definite Hearing as a way to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. I did this because I'm hard of hearing myself. I want to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing because I love the hearing and deaf community, but I find myself in the middle as a hard of hearing person. I use hearing devices to hear. I wear hearing aids and I love them so much. I also created this channel to kind of help those that have a hearing loss and are trying to figure out how to navigate it. People maybe looking for hearing aids, people that have had hearing aids for a long time like me. And also I created this channel for hearing people so that they can know how to help their hard of hearing loved ones. I hope you stick around to the end of this video because if you do, I'm going to share my thoughts on the Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act. All right, so let's start with the facts. The Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act was created to enable adults with mild to moderate hearing losses to receive hearing aids without needing a doctor's note or physician's consent. The Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act was part of the FDA Reauthorization Act of 2017. It was supported by Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts and Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa. It was a bipartisan piece of legislation. It was passed in the House on July 12th and subsequently passed in the Senate on August 3rd. So what is the big deal about this act? Why does it matter? This act requires that the FDA creates a category of over-the-counter hearing aids to ensure that they meet the same quality standards that we have in our big six brands. To ensure that these hearing aids, though they'll cost less, have the same customer safety levels, labeling, and manufacturing protections that high-end hearing aids have. Within the act, they've required the FDA to create this plan, this over-the-counter hearing aid plan within 3 years. Okay, let's do the math. That was in 2017. It's 2021. It has been over 3 years. The FDA has failed to make a ruling on this. They were supposed to do it in August of 2020. Granted, due to COVID, they said, hey, we couldn't do this, we're sorry. Honestly, to me, they had 3 years to do it and they still haven't done it. It just sounds like me when I was in college and I just waited to the last minute to do my homework. So clearly we need some help on this. The FDA has not brought that OTC regulation standards to the table and there are some heated debates about this. The American Speech Language Hearing Association, or ASHA, has expressed concern in the Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act. Why would they do this? ASHA President Gail Richards said that greater degrees of hearing loss are serious medical conditions with broader health implications. ASHA also expressed the concern that people with moderate losses to severe could not receive the help that they need by just getting over-the-counter hearing aids. Hearing aids are not a one-size-fits-all solution. Everyone's ears are different. Everyone's losses are different. People can have different losses in different frequencies. The hearing aids need to be tuned. And if people do not visit a doctor to program the hearing aids or they're not programming them properly, they are missing out on what they don't know. So ASHA definitely expressed these concerns and said over-the-counter hearing aids are not a good idea. You have people that will get these hearing aids and will just turn them on but won't know how to fine tune them based on the mapping and everything. I can see where they're coming from because with a hearing loss, I don't know what I don't hear. And so if I took an over-the-counter hearing aid and just put it in my ear, I would feel like I was hearing, but I don't know what I wasn't hearing. And then based on the feedback from my family members and friends, if they said like, hey, you're wearing those hearing aids, but it doesn't seem like they're working, then I would probably just think like, why am I wasting my money? I'm just not gonna wear these at all. When you've heard things and you don't hear things, muscle memory in your brain with your ears and your hearing and your auditory lingual pathway, it suffers atrophy. It goes through this experience where it was being worked like a muscle. All of a sudden that pathway is not being worked and it can lead to decreases in cognitive ability. Studies have shown that failure to aid a hearing loss can lead to dementia. It's a big deal. And like ASHA said, it can impair people's ability to stay cognitively sharp if they don't have the proper hearing settings. Well, if we don't have over-the-counter hearing aids that are readily accessible for people, then they just don't get hearing aids in the first place and they never get that access to that sound. So there are two sides to the coin and two sides to the story. Now, going back to the fact that it is 2021 and we still don't have these FDA regulations that they were supposed to have back in 2017, that's concerning. Devin Frank, a PhD at Harvard University, recently commented about this FDA failure to deliver and said, as medical providers, we fully appreciate the impact the COVID-19 pandemic has on all sectors of healthcare. However, this inaction of OTC hearing aids is leaving millions of Americans without the necessary devices they were promised and will benefit through the implementation of this law. So doctors have been like, hello, FDA, like, we know you've been swamped with COVID, but you had 3 years to do this. So you kind of need to come up with some regulations. So I'm so glad you stuck around to the end of this video. There are the facts mingled with a couple of my opinions and statements, but I just want to kind of wrap up with my definite opinion. So here's my definite opinion. The Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act means that end consumers will have access to mild to moderate hearing aids. And I understand why that would be. You don't need an audiologist. You don't need a doctor to do that. Whatever. My problem with this is we kind of already have this in place. You can go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. They say, hey, you need hearing aids. Go down to Miracle Ear or a hearing aid dispenser and go get some hearing aids. People can go get hearing aids already. They can talk to a doctor who's an ear doctor and go get hearing aids at a dispenser's place. The best place to go get hearing aids is with the audiologist. Like, an ear, nose, and throat doctor knows the ear, but they don't understand sound within the ear. They don't understand mapping the hearing aid. They don't do that. That's not within their specialty. And the dispenser doesn't do that either. This law, in my opinion, obsolete. I get that we need cheaper hearing aids, but I don't think that there should be people distributing them that don't know about ears and hearing. If you've been to my channel for a while, you know that I really like audiologists. I preach, go to the audiologist, because audiologists go to school to understand how you hear. When you go and talk to an audiologist, they map your hearing. They see what you are hearing and fit the hearing aid to meet those needs of what you're not hearing. If you just go buy an off-the-shelf, over-the-counter hearing aid and put it in, it will not be the same. It can never be the same as getting a hearing aid through a licensed audiologist. So then I could get into the deeper side of this. I am an entrepreneur at heart. I believe in the free market economy. I do believe that some regulations are needed. However, the FDA is creating these over-the-counter hearing aid laws, and they're the same FDA that says that you can have free-range eggs from free-range chickens. If you want to talk to PETA, go talk to them about it. So I kind of, I'm all over the place. I am so all over the place because I also hate to think of people not having access to hearing aids. I have personally participated in testifying for regulation to get private insurance to cover hearing devices. Like, I think people should have access to those devices, and I think that they should be reasonably priced. And so I am really torn about this, as you can tell. As far as the Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act itself, I don't think it was necessary, but I also think that the FDA needs to do their job and get those regulations together. And so people that will benefit from that, it's better for them to have a hearing aid, in my opinion, than not have one if they want one. And so I hope that makes sense. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Over-the-Counter Hearing Aid Act down below. Is it something that you've been looking forward to? If so, why? What are some things you hope that they include in the over-the-counter regulations? Please share in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more awesome content for you. Until next time, stay strong, stay amazing, and have a great day. Bye. Oh, that's like such a hot topic. Enjoy. I can't wait to see your thoughts in the comments.